I kind of forgot. Which song did we end up doing?
No giggles and riffs. Just you fucking start the show. You do the fucking introduction. Do what you got to fucking do. Let's make it a blah, 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 blah.
I know this is. Let me tell everybody. Welcome to Face of the Franchise. I am Michael, the Pharaoh Shanuti, and always to my front, a broken man. We'll get into that later. He is a very broken man. When you know he's not dancing to one of the 3 songs that he told me to pick, then you know he is not in a good mood.
Publicity stunt by Gucci Man.
He is absolutely distraught. He is absolutely
Carry That Weight by the Beatles.
He is something else.
Or No Love by Eminem.
He is broken as I was, or I'm gonna be probably when the start of the season starts, and you know that doom is about to come, doom and gloom. But we'll get into that. That is Little Joey.
Let me be to further your teaser for a moment. Have you seen me like this in a pre-show? Like in the pre-show, you could tell I was just pissed. And I'm not normally a guy that gets pissed. I'm normally a bits and riffs and giggles and shits type of guy, as just mentioned. I to do the headlines and we'll fucking get into it.
All right. This guy is literally broken, but we will get into it. Okay, so really hot off the presses, before the show even started. It actually happened 2 hours ago. Khali Mack to the San Diego Chargers.
Santiago. Yep. See?
There you go.
Staying strong since day one, baby. Staying strong since day one of this podcast.
Los Angeles Chargers
traded
a second round pick and a 6th round pick for Khali Mack. So, all right, let me just get it right to it. I mean, we know why they did the move. Russ went to Denver. We'll get to that trade. Carson, they have Patrick Mahomes. They have
That's
Derek
a scary
Carr.
defense now too. That's a very scary defense.
We love Joey Bosa, who we love. They have rookies that are in there that we love. They have all these different people that are just out there that we want. That I think that they can get to these quarterbacks now. And don't forget the quarterback that they have. They have Justin Jay Herbo, one of my favorite quarterbacks. I think I love him more than my own son sometimes. I don't even have a son.
You follow your future son potentially, or daughter, but
son Justin because of it.
Again, we've gone over that you're going to be a terrible father, so hopefully not for your future son.
You don't want to start doing that shit, especially in this episode.
You know what? Again, as promised, I'm not a bits and riff guy today. I'm not a bits and riffs and shits and gigs guy today. Continue.
I think it's a good trade for both teams. The Bears need to restructure a lot of different things in their franchise. They want to start from scratch. And the Chargers are all in. They need to go win a Super Bowl now, even in a tough division. I think this was a great move for both sides, even though I think the compensation was very low. But at the same time, it helps both teams in the long run.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was definitely a smart move. You got to prepare for Russ twice a season, not to mention Mahomes and Derek Carr, who always plays against his division rivals really, really well. I think this is a fucking stacked defense, and we've been waiting for our San Diego Chargers to do something for a while now. We've both been really high on this team, even back in the Lynn days and all that good stuff. We have been waiting for a long, long time for this team to really be what they are, and I'm hoping we'll get to it once we get to our Chargers preview of their regular season. But I think this Khali Mack solidifies a lot of things for him. They're still a legitimate threat, as they always are for me with the Chargers. It's always going to come out to how does the chemistry shake out with this team, which has always been a little rocky for me.
Exactly, and I think they needed stability, like I said, in certain positions. Now you have somebody who could take the pressure off Joey Bosa. When they lost Melvin Ingram, that's just really what it is in the division that they're in. The conference, the AFC now is literally the Western Conference back in 2003 when it was like Kobe Bryant and Paul Gasol against Tim Duncan and the Spurs, and you had Phoenix and you had Dallas, and oh my God, like
everybody was a legitimate threat, and then the East was just the minor leagues.
It was literally the Miami Heat. In the East was the Miami Heat and LeBron James. That's it.
Yeah, period. And so you know, whoever comes out of the West is seeing the Heat and LeBron James. Fortunately for you.
So that was good for him. I think it was good. And then another big transition to this topic. Colin Kaepernick's back in the news. Colin Kaepernick posted a workout video saying he's ready to go. He's ready
He
to
looked
be
good. He looked good.
lead a team to a Super Bowl. I think this came out because of all the moves that happened at quarterback, how many teams now need quarterback. He's now back to what he's saying. Listen, I'm in a position where Mason Rudolph is if it starts today, he is my starting quarterback. So if you're asking me if I want him or Mason Rudolph, give me Colin Kaepernick 10 times out of 10 times without a question.
No brainer.
And no brainer. So stop with the bullshit. Let's get this man back in the league. Whatever it takes. I understand he might be quote unquote ass, but at this point, Mason Rudolph is quote unquote ass, and people on Twitter is going crazy saying
Mason Rudolph is the shit that your shit takes. Mason Rudolph is the stuff that comes out of your ass that then goes in the sewer. It fucks a rat of some kind, aka the rat eats your shit, then the rat shits that out. That
but it's not
is what Mason Rudolph is cool.
Steelers. It's like the Seahawks, the Panthers, the Falcons. Who else? Like you might want to have something as a backup plan to Trey Lance and 49ers. And
you might have fucking Carson Wentz starting.
Hold on. Easy.
I'm good. I'm fine.
Hold on, King. King.
I'm good, team. Good team.
But that's what I'm saying. I was like, there's no possible way you can firmly justify why he's not a starting quarterback when he went to a Super Bowl, when he went to Miami, and he did all right in Miami. It's not like he was bad, but that team was overall bad. So it's like, got to give the guy.
We know that they were paying head coaches to forfeit games at the time, anyway. So.
Oh, I guess so. Well, thank you, Miami, because now we have him. So fuck off. I love it.
So how are we feeling though? What are the actual odds? Do you see Colin finally getting on a team? Is this blackball finally over? I mean, it's the resurgence every couple of years, and he does look good. He looks healthy as hell.
Fine.
Like, why not give him a shot at this point? Like, I don't know why these old white. Well, we all do know why these old white racists will continue not to let him in the league because pride was hurt and their way of life that they're used to was hurt. And how dare we, right? How dare there be some fucking change in this world? I won't get too deep into it. I'm hot today, so don't let me go off on an hour and a half rant to a different podcast. But yeah, I mean, it's just something that is definitely disappointing.
No, in my opinion, it's probably close.
You see him again not be picked.
It's probably close to zero, and I hate to say it. I mean, they all had their chances beforehand. There was times where he could just be a backup, and he would. I don't know if there was a situation where he said he didn't want to be a backup, like a Cam Newton, but like I don't know. I'm personally hurt still by this. I mean, Flores is doing what he's doing to stop the league's racism, so you never know. So, but. Also, there. I mean, like when it comes to QBs, like, will we ever see a generational talent like him? I mean, we have Lamar, we have Kyler, and I think it's like him and Vic, like that started kind of do the whole thing. And I mean,
you watched The Shot? Did you watch The Shot with Lamar on it? I know you did.
No, which one? What did he say?
So Lamar was just on the most recent episode of The Shot. LeBron show that was on HBO Max just got moved over to YouTube. And I'm hoping that they are the. I mean, we know Patrick already kind of had that role, and we know Lamar is better overall quarterback. But in all reality, his approach, which he even admitted, has been maybe a little mature to the game. He talked about carrying that hump on the shoulder with being called that running back, despite having arguably one of the most successful collegiate careers at QB of all time, and continues to put up some historic numbers amongst a lot of who are considered top 5, top 10 QBs of all time in their first couple of years of their career. And so you're hoping somebody like that can go ahead and do it, but it's also a loss of where Colin Kaepernick was, again, also one of those rare talents, definitely more so in our generation growing up. And it just doesn't make any sense, as you say, the desperation in the spot and what potentially he could bring to the game, even now that he's still not let in. And it's fucking absurd to me.
It is absurd. So when it comes to Colin Kaepernick, I think it's beating a dead horse. So let's move on to the next topic. What's the next topic?
You don't want to kick that horse further in the grave there?
No, we're going to put it to 2% to 0. He signs with a team. That's official stand right there.
All right. Fair enough. Then, well, I mean, what I want to get into just a little bit before I absolutely explode and potentially jump off a bridge here. and give up, or at least give up football in this podcast completely, is let's talk about Eric the Enemy and how he still doesn't have a job. I know let's just briefly touch on it because
You know what?
listen.
You know what, Joey? I'm glad we're talking about this topic. I actually
You
thought
are
about
glad now. Okay, good.
I thought about this because this was a thought when this all went down, and I want to know your take because this might be a hot take. This might not be a hot take. You think he's not getting a job? I understand the whole racism thing, but you think he's also not getting a job because of what happened with Matt Nagy? Because Matt Nagy, same situation, went to the Bears, fucked everything up that last couple of years, and people finally figured out, like, was it Andy Reid, and people are scared. But there's also a situation where you're right, it is kind of foolish, even if Matt Nagy was bad. Like, I think you got to give Eric at least a shot. So.
Right. I mean, I think even with that, even though, I mean, you could also argue Andy Reid's coaching tree in general hasn't been the most successful. But, like, I mean, look at it like this. You think that, like, in terms of, like, if they could go back now, if Washington could go back now, and, you know, the everybody's favorite meme or favorite thing to say is the Sean McVay coaching tree, right? Or the Jay Gruden coaching tree, right?
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan and all them motherfuckers.
Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, like constant playoff appearances as head coaches now. One just won a fucking Super Bowl. You may have noticed they were in the Super Bowl 2 years prior to that. By the way, the year before that, there was a team called the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So it's just you never know, and it could go either way. I think to kind of go under and say, well, they're under this coach's coaching tree. Again, all these coaches came out of fucking Jay Gruden's technically coaching tree. So to see somebody that's so clearly talented, I mean, I almost thought you were about to make the argument that Eric the Enemy's offense is like, I would say almost been figured out in a certain sense to an extent.
No, I get it. No, I 100% understand that take. I think it's because of Nagy. I really do believe the racism and the Nagy thing is 50-50. I think it's 50-50 that.
I mean, yeah, my whole thing with it, and I'm glad we got into this topic now, too, because I think it's so clear. If you had to pick any, let me put it this way, Tomlin retires. You're picking any,
I mean,
yeah, the decision's
you know who I'm picking. It's the guy we just hired.
Yeah, okay. So you're not going an enemy. You're not considering. You're not giving him an interview.
Okay, so here's the deal. That's a very good point that you brought up. Right. There was a guy, like, literally the reason why I picked Flores over Eric is because Flores has done it. Flores has been a head coach. He's won us with bad. Like, you guys don't, like, people need to understand how bad Tua really is and how bad the Dolphins are, except for like a couple positions, and they still were close to making the playoffs twice. And it's unfortunate what happened in Miami. And I hope the reason why he's in Pittsburgh is because when Tomlin retires, he will eventually be our head coach. And that's the only inside move I ever want to see in my entire fucking life by the Steelers. Because if you do a Matt Canada one more fucking time, I will off myself. But at the same time, like, if not Flores, yes, Eric would be my second choice. Josh McDaniels third. Probably.
McDaniels third.
Well, of who got hot, who was available this go around.
Okay.
Like, I don't, like, if we're doing coaches, then of course not. But, like, who was available this round? Yes. It's probably Josh McDaniels third, Ben Amin two, and then Flores one.
I mean, to me, again, I don't understand why Eric doesn't still have it. I'll never understand that. That's why I want to bring up this conversation today, except for I do understand. To me, it's there's a system in place, again, that we don't need to get into that's clearly been there for years. But how hard is it to hire the best candidate available? I mean, you guys clearly made a smart move with what you did, but at the same, let's say Flores stayed on the Dolphins. You said your second choice was it is Eric, because it should be, because this talent is immense. I think that he can kind of coast around, and when he gets a new team, figure out a new offense that he can implement and still be that great coach we all believe he can be. But again, this is part of why I think I may give up football in this podcast at the end of the segment.
I honestly just think it's because of what we said in the last segment. It's like, people have their opinions, people have their gestures, and I've said it a million times. If GMs played fantasy football, they would probably do a little bit better because they just need to understand that when you're taking risk, there is reward. Yes, sometimes it'll come and backfire on you, but at the same time, and there's a guy on tomorrow who has 22 cases who's going to fucking court, and if he gets acquitted for all of them, and he's
in the 2016 draft.
No, stop. Don't.
Yeah, no bits, risks, or shits and gigs. Yep.
That's the next time.
All right, well, let's get into this because every degenerate is pissed off everywhere around the world. Every Falcons fan is probably a little pissed off. Every Calvin Ridley fan is definitely pissed off. And the man that should be more pissed off than anybody, and he certainly has let us know that he is, it rightfully so, more than rightfully so, is Calvin Ridley. Making just a good old degenerate $1,500 bet, 18 parlay, like all us degenerates do every single Sunday. We all have our Hail Mary. Then we have what do we think are our quote-unquote safe bets, right, Nude? All this, that, and the third.
March fucking Madness.
And March Madness is here, right? March Madness is here. It's the greatest time of the year for us degenerates. This is our Super Bowl, not the actual Super Bowl. We actually get pissed because we feel like we're like the guys that have been in the gym all year and they get pissed when the people in January come. That's what the Super Bowl is for, so the big game. But March Madness is our Super Bowl. And Calvin Ridley even said himself, I'm not a big gambler. 1,500 is basically his $20, right?
It really
like, for us.
It's funny that you said that. It really is, though.
This guy was having a great fucking time, enjoying championship week, doing precursor kind of championship week, not totally there yet. I believe he was on the weekend, so yeah, it's championship week. And he went ahead and got suspended for a whole entire year. You know what I'm realizing now? Every segment I propose today is big reasons of why I'm giving up faith in football and why I may give in this podcast, or maybe do what you do with your other podcast. We may just start talking about what the fuck we want on this show. I may have to curve it that way, Nude, since I am director, captain, and 9% host of this podcast, as we always know.
You get host today, because what we're going to see it later. I think we just need all the showtime we need. But I'm just going to say this.
Yeah.
According to sources, Eagles were about to make the trade. They couldn't do it because of the whole suspension thing. So kudos to that. You could have been double fucked. But number two, he should be suspended because who the fuck bets on the Falcons every weekend? That's your fault. Like, you should be suspended for that. You are just wasting money. So who gets the fuck? No, that is even a dumbass gambler like me who overthinks everything knows not to bet on the Falcons when you're not playing, Calvin Ridley. So at the same time, I want
not even to cover. Yep.
Honestly, like
bet the over on that game, but
to get the appeal done, it's like he needs to show everybody his parlays. I want to see what lost, what won, because I want to stack it up.
You're saying if you were commissioner, that's what you would need to.
I mean, like, you want to be reinstated and only miss like maybe 2 games.
It's not like Cadell's gonna be like, say, show me what you were doing. Give me a lock, and maybe we can remove that suspension.
Why are you betting on the Broncos when Drew Lock was starting? You idiot.
Listen, I love how it sounds like you would conduct yourself as the commissioner of the NFL, as CEO of the NFL. But unfortunately, we don't have you as CEO, and I would go ahead and I would take over that job at that point. It would be my job for the taking, as I would see it. But listen, is there not charges that are dropped every single year that is drunk driving?
I just said it. I just said it. Tomorrow, we might see 22 rape cases dropped for Deshaun. And guess what? If he's a Pittsburgh Steeler, it's okay. I've been through this before. 18 years more of rape jokes? Fine, go for it.
Look, you're coming back around to the idea.
To the Colts, to the Seahawks.
I love that you just slipped that in there.
If he goes to the Colts, Panthers.
If they're dropped, you know what? We've dealt with it before. We get it.
What else do you need? Like, I understand.
It's terrible.
It's a rape joke. Ha ha ha. Like, fuck.
Tosh.0 us. Do what you got to do.
Like, I get it. Like, if he goes to the Colts, Seahawks, or Panthers, any of those fans can call me and I'll tell you how to handle that. honestly, the best way to do it is if he wins the Super Bowl. Only way you can say, he ripped somebody, but he's got a Super Bowl. There you go. Like, it's funny what Bills fans say about O.J. Simpson because you could say the joke. I troll me. I don't care. It's
you
funny.
you know how much I love this type of humor. And again, cancel us if you want. It's fine. I mean, we're almost at the level of Barstool.
We don't give
Anyway, so
cancel me. I'm gonna say Washington Redskins until I die. Until a Native American DMs me and tells me it's a bad thing to say. Fuck everybody else.
There's a team in Washington.
We'll get to that later. But no, for Calvin Ridley, he literally got suspended for nothing. We have Deshaun Watson doing what he's doing. Joe Mixon beat the fuck out of a girl. Kareem Hunt kicked a girl in the face. Tyreek Hill, 12 million things he's done. Like, it's like
come on.
Let's not play good cop bad cop here, Roger Goodell. You're the worst of all. You're the second worst of all time. Robert Manfred took that from you. But over here, like, you are an idiot. You are an absolute idiot.
I would not say Manfred took it. He still owns the crap. He still owns it.
After what I've seen with Manfred, I cannot. Even though we're Orioles fans and we weren't really excited for the season.
Right. This is kind of a sense of relief for us. Let's be honest.
It was actually, I wrote it. I was like,
can we let's insert segment. Quick hot take on that is that we have a tentative deal this afternoon. I know we're not a big baseball podcast. We maybe talked about the Orioles once or twice. I know most people don't give a shit. You seem really pissed about it. The reason I want to talk about it now is because you're saying Manfred is worse to you than Goodell. That's what I want to hear. Why is that?
No. Oh, if you think if Roger Goodell doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, this guy has no idea what he's doing. And this guy had 6 different deals come through his office. He's like, no, fuck this. All this shit about like moving the shift, make the bases bigger. Oh, banning the shift. I'm sorry. Or universal DH. All these things he just
right.
And I was like,
he didn't want pitchers to bat it anymore. He was something about getting rid of third and first base coach. I even heard he wanted to get rid of a catcher at a certain point.
Like honestly, like you two are idiots. You two are the biggest idiots on the planet, Roger Goodell and him. If it wasn't for the NCAA,
I will give you even playing field. I don't think you could put Manfred ahead of Goodell.
All right, but then to each his own. Honestly, that's 1A, 1B to me, anyways. So like to each his own. Everyone you want to put before the other, I don't care.
Yeah, Goodell's 1A, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so the second biggest story on this podcast, we didn't get to it. The blockbuster deal that shook the entire world, probably in the NFL. Russell Wilson to the Broncos for.
Let's go third biggest story first. Is Rodgers' story true? Let's go Rodgers' story true first, because I want to get into this. Is his contract details accurate? We know he's back with the Pack. You were pissed off about that. We're doing it in order of most interesting stories.
All right, let's do Russ and then we'll do Rodgers. Yeah. I ran. Don't worry. So Russell.
Okay, that's fine.
Russell. Oh shit. Actually, no. Let's do Rodgers because Russell's a pin. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, let's see what. Yeah.
My bad.
I have a feeling where you're going with both of them, so that's why. Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was dangling his little penis in front of the Steelers and the Broncos, and all of a sudden he's like,
"I promise you, it's big."
So
is what he would say.
Huh?
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
I didn't promise shit.
No, I'm saying you said dangling his little penis, and I was being Rodgers for a moment, saying, "I promise you, it's big." Anyway, move on.
Anyways, when he was doing his
great impression of Rodgers,
he was doing the ayahuasca shit and all this, and he was doing like, "I will announce this, I'll announce that." That I want everybody to understand. There was a part of me that says I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, but it quickly turned off when he said, "I'm going to announce this."
You talked about it on this show.
Huh?
You talked about it briefly on this show.
I did. And what I understood was he never wanted to leave. Like, that's what I know. I was like, there's no way he wanted to leave. Because, one, he hates Brett Favre so fucking much that he wants to prove that he's better than him. Number two, $200 fucking million. Of course he wasn't going to leave. Like, are you kidding me? If I was working for the Texans and I was their quarterback and you gave me no people in front of me, $200 to $250 million in incentives and whatnot, and Jesus Christ, and then you can bring me back Davante Adams. Of course you're not leaving. Stop being a dickhead. Like, we understood that was going to happen. Like, all these people was like, Michael, you thought that you're an idiot for thinking Aaron Rodgers was ever coming. No, you fuckface. He was thinking about coming. Just all of a sudden, the Packers sold their entire farm to give $200 million to get him back. If there was no contract like that on the table, yes, he would have been gone. Would he be us for the Broncos? Maybe. But at the same time, you got to think Jordan Love is gone because he has to pull a Jimmy G. You can't be in the back. It's 4 years. That's a man 7 years right there behind somebody else.
Right. So that's what I was about to say. So he's basically doing the same thing that Brett Favre did to him, which I find hysterical.
Yeah.
But my main question is this: is Rodgers did come out, I believe 2 or 3 days ago, and said that the details of my contract are not accurate. Yes, I will be back with the Packers, but the numbers are not accurate.
I get it. But the deal had to be so big that he said that, because in no way on God's green earth that what happened last season and what happened in the playoffs, you look at, if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I want to be the best of all time, I don't know if he cares at this point. He's won MVPs. He's showing he's the best. It's just he doesn't win Super Bowls. He's won one.
He's fighting the spiritual side now. He's fighting his spiritual side now. Shailene Woodley helping out with that, even though they're not engaged anymore. And
Divergent, whatever her name is, Shelby Woodley or whatever the fuck her name is.
Shailene Woodley.
Oh, wait, no, they broke up.
Yeah, you know what he said though? Thank you for helping me find my spirit, and that's all he said on it.
That's like me texting my ex right now. Thank you for helping me be a whore. Like that doesn't mean shit.
Thanks for putting me through 6 months of depression, right?
6 months of depression, alcoholism, gambling. Like what?
Thanks for casting me to cover all my feelings with addictions. I appreciate it.
But it's like, dude, like his little he's the biggest diva I've ever seen in my entire life because of this shit. Like, just be on the Packers, shut the fuck up, and don't do this entire the hoopla that you did. Because guess what? When they lose in the first round again, we're gonna hear the same shit again. And I'm just not.
I think it's a big thing too. Of like, it's gotta pain anybody. It's like the Jerry West. He has Jerry West syndrome a little bit, right? Where he 3 times as well, which we don't talk about that much. I believe, 3 times in a row, home field advantage, NFC Championship. Not this past year, but the last 3 years before that, where it looks like he's going to win the game, and that team comes back on him, not representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. So he has in his head, I should have had those 3 titles. Because, I mean, I think every year that they were on that path, and even this year, I said Super Bowl. Because of just how good they've looked under Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has reached some sort of weird old man peak, that like a John Elway kind of sense, and is playing his best he's ever played, arguably, right now, right? So I think there's a big thing with that behind him, but it's definitely going to cast future Jordan Love. I don't see Jordan Love ever starting for that team at this point. I see him getting traded away. I don't think the players have the patience like they used to, and even back then, 7 years is fucking ridiculous for anybody to wait in the hell.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, is like, he has to pull a Jimmy G, and I think the Packers know that, and the Packers will do it. The Packers will trade him to somebody. So like I said, if tomorrow happens where Watson is found not guilty, he'll be the first chip to fall. Then Jimmy G, then him, and then you'll have this for a team waiting for the draft, probably to draft Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, and then Jameis Winston will sign, and then Marcus Mariota will sign. It's like this. It's like it's a building block. Like it's really crazy how many quarterbacks are about to switch teams because of this, because of Aaron Rodgers, because of what we're about to talk about, and what we're gonna to 2 other trades that we're gonna talk about. So it's nuts.
Yeah, again, the QBs every year continue to set a new precedent of not only affecting other quarterbacks' contracts, where certain quarterbacks are certainly getting money they don't deserve, but obviously affecting kind of that it's clearing that inflation as a whole in the league. But let's get into it.
We talked about inflation in the league with the quarterback position because Matthew Stafford started it, Derek Carr started it, Matt Ryan started it. It's just going to keep going and going and going. Then you have Josh Allen coming up. You have Lamar Jackson. Then you have people like Baker Mayfield who are in that in-between where you're like, do we pay him? Is there something better? Blah, blah, blah. And then you're just doing this whole dance again. And then next thing you know, a team will pay a quarterback that much. So, but to a team that has had a do with quarterbacks.
I was hoping to get one of your classic transitions in here this show.
This is great. I mean, this is the biggest blockbuster deal I think I've seen in my lifetime, to be honest. Because Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, when they switched teams, It was free agency. It wasn't a trade. This one was a legit trade for Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick for 2 first rounds, 2 thirds, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, and probably some more picks I'm forgetting. But
you a Seahawks guy now, by the way?
What?
You're probably a huge Seahawks guy now after this trade.
Why?
You're a Drew Lock guy. You're a no fan guy. What do you mean?
Yo,
what do you mean?
Chapter, baby. New chapter. Swag Drew is about to light it up in Seattle. Listen, here's what
happened. Should probably go from that team in Washington. I think they're kind of a team, not really, to Seattle Seahawks. That should be your number 2.
I think it might be my number 2. So Swag Drew is always going to be my number 2. No, Chiefs because of Patrick Mahomes, because of that was my big, like, that's my guy. Like, he got it. But Swaggy is not. Swaggy needs to do much. And I had a little victory dance with Minshew. So we need a little bit more. But no, I think this literally, like I said, like what we said before, AFC Western Conference, no bad teams now. That division itself is a bloodbath. Literally, Raiders, then Chargers, Chiefs. Like, we might see, now that there's 3 wild card spots, we might see all 4 of them make the playoffs. Like, that's how crazy it is. If like it's just like, that's obviously a over exaggeration, but like
not really,
not really, like not really at all. Like all these teams, like they literally looked at each other and was like, we knew the Broncos were into Rodgers for a long time, and then like right away they were like, we're in it for Russell because we know Rodgers is playing a fucking game, so let's get Russell. Russell was into it. The Seahawks were clearly into it. And with the Russell trade, they cut Bobby Wagner. So you know that the Seahawks are fully in rebuild mode because they cut the 2 biggest leaders of their team, the last 2 from that Super Bowl team, and said, fuck it. Let's restart the entire thing. All pro to Denver. Probably an all pro to 11 teams are already interested in Bobby Wagner, by the way. So that's kind of crazy. But he is
that is not crazy.
It's because of one thing. It's one thing. I think some teams are bullshitting because they can't afford them. But that's a different story.
I mean, for sure. But it's not crazy they're interested.
No. It didn't say 31 teams were interested other than the Seahawks, but that's another story. But Russell with that offense has now made that offense so legitimate. It's nuts. But probably if I'm Noah Fant, I'm bashing my head against the wall that I just got. Because he was supposed to be this next big tight end. With Russ, he would have been.
Portland, Jerry Jeudy now. I mean, this is a scary. This might be
Portland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Tim Patrick, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon. He comes back. The defense is lights out. Like, who's the coach again? Oh, the guy from the offensive coordinator from the Packers. I forgot his name. But my God, man, my God.
It's not hold up. Tom, we're better than this. Hold on, we're gonna get this real quick. But yeah, I mean, this is a scary looking team now for damn sure. Yeah. So we'll see how it all splashes out. But this is a fucking threatening team. And you originally disliked when I sent you the info over at first, and you disliked Nathaniel Hackett. But you originally disliked the text when I sent you that this trade happened. I said all good for the Broncos. All love to Denver. My South Park guys are happy. And now that wide receiver core that has the most, in my opinion, one of the most, if not the most potential in the league. Now you have a guy that can go ahead and do his Chef Russ thing. Hopefully they'll let Russ cook there. I'm very sure they will. Much more than Pete Carroll and whatever's going on between them there. I think this team is looking dangerous. Why dislike the text? Why was there a little animosity?
Oh, no. I think you think like it's such a bad trade for. Did you really think it was a bad trade for the Seahawks?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying when I sent you the information over, I was excited and you disliked the text.
Oh, so yeah. my thing was I thought you didn't like the trade for the Seahawks. I thought it was completely
great, but win-win both ways.
Oh, win-win both ways. Yeah, never mind. That's a like. I'll change it to a like in the text message. But I thought you were sending it to me. What the fuck are they doing? They completely lost the trade. No, I think personally,
I just saw it, thought it was interesting information. Thought maybe I could finally catch some inside information before you did. I genuinely thought I did because you sent me a goddamn it back. But what was I thinking? Our little Shefty here, our little Shefty of the podcast.
I think
probably knew before I sent that, didn't you?
I knew that before you sent it, but
Yeah.
I was analyzing the trade. I was like, it's not a bad trade. If they use one of the picks, like we said, Willis, Pickett, go get Watson, go get Jimmy G, go get
And
all.
when I sent it to you, I don't think I said anything either way of how I felt about the trade.
I just took it as like this guy's. Oh, it's because okay. Also, the segue time.
Mm.
There was a team that offered something.
Do we fucking have to?
Yeah, because this is now your time to shine. Also, the combine happened. Great combine, a lot of athletes. Congratulations.
We'll get into that draft preview next week.
Yeah.
We'll get into our offseason.
Very good
teams,
draft.
22-23 season next week. Yeah.
A lot of dick sucking for quarterbacks doing great things on the field.
All right, well, it's been a good show, bro. I got to go.
All right.
All right, dog.
The team that offered stuff, come on. I did
Send me
something
a me real quick.
for the Washington bullshitters. So, there was a team that offered stuff for Russ. 3 first-round picks and some change for us, but the Seahawks said no. All right, it was Washington. Listen. Let me finish everything. You go off king on both because I'm going to finish everything. Washington did trade for a quarterback. They traded for Carson Wentz, so he's back in the NFC for a second, like a conditional second and a third.
Conditional second and a third. It's going to be 2/3 unless Carson plays 70% of the time. Then it will be
you need that. Okay, so all right. So they went to plan B. I think the reason why they didn't trade Russell to the Washington football team, Washington Redskins, until a Native American tells me it's wrong, it's because they didn't want to trade him in the NFC. That's my opinion. You have other opinions. Let me finish. I'm just saying, I think it's because of the NFC thing. I think it's because all this different things of like, if he does go there, because I think you're one of those teams, if you insert Russell Wilson, you do become a Super Bowl contender. You do become in a very bad, and I'm serious, it is a very weak NFC. There's no, like Rodgers, Kyler, end of list. Cowboys ain't good. I don't want to hear.
You're talking, it's very much west and east of like 2008, 2000 to 2014, 15.
Rams might run it back. Like, that's how bad it is. Rams might have the easiest run it back I've ever seen. But
I mean, I still think Packers are a legitimate threat, as you mentioned.
You can keep until that motherfucker wins in the first round. I'm not going to talk about it.
We talked about how it was an NFC championship game for fucking
yeah, but then you
2 years in a row.
49ers and Lambeau Field, you lost all credit.
You're on the what did you do for me last year? All right.
Let me finish so you can go on your rant, damn it. This is not only.
Dude, I've not interrupted once. This is the first time I interrupted. Continue. Go.
But my point is, I think Washington is fine in the sense of if he does play well, it's fine. It's fine. It's an if. It's an if. I still think this gives you time because I think this quarterback class in the draft is shit. I do not want Willis. I do not want Pickett. I do not want Carl or fucking Hal. They're all shit. So no, I would think this is fine because you can cut him next year if he's dookie and lose no cap. It's fine. I think it's fine. It's a fine move in the sense of what happened. I'd rather have Russell, of course, but it's fine. Now I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna fire off some text. You talk to the people. Go ahead.
Well, I would love if you could also listen.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
First off, before I even get into that, because I barely want to talk about that, is that you said 4 times you thought I was going to interrupt you. You must be very, very traumatized from past shows. I told you pre-show, this is what it must feel like. And I was never gonna interrupt you that whole time. I was gonna let you go, except for that one time I did. But not only that, we said pre-show, this is what it must feel like. How I feel right now is what it must feel like to do with a podcast with me every week, or every week that I end up doing it. That's where I will start. This is one clearly because I felt, and I told you, and I truly, I believe this is the only reason we do not have Russell Wilson on our team right now. And a little bit Rodgers too, to be perfectly frank. is because more so Russell than anything, because we know we had conversations with Russell. We know that was at least talks in the air, but we're not a destination people want to go to at this point, dude. We are not a destination people want to go to. Snyder is essentially in the mode of, let me throw something out there of whatever can distract them and get my name out of the press. And that's all, I think, a big majority of why Russ didn't want to come on the team, why we continue to cover ups. And I even think as much as some Washington fans for some reason are trying to convince themselves that this was a legitimate move, this was the right thing to make, or convincing themselves on Carson. Remember his rookie year, though? Listen, it's in my opinion, it is a publicity stunt. It is a filler spot. I never been a Carson guy. No disrespect to Carson whatsoever, but at the same time, major disrespect to Carson. I'm sorry. No, I take it back. No disrespect to Carson, because I'm sorry we have to drag his career through like this. I'm sorry he has to officially die with us. There was, boy from South Dakota State or North Dakota State, the boy that nobody saw coming, and really showed out. All respect where respect's due, but this guy is clearly a mental case. He is in his own head. Washington saw an opportunity to get a buzzworthy name. I don't know why we continue not to want to get a quarterback in the draft. I guess Snyder's still traumatized from 10 years ago with another person who's now just, doing SEC football games during the college season. This is just disgusting. I don't think I want to be a fan anymore. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince myself whatsoever that this is a good move, that this was something that has potential, that this is something that I should be proud of. And I'm trying not to get upset because there are people upstairs that I've already pissed off during this podcast, just being myself. So I'm not going to go ahead and get too loud, but I am. And that's how you know I'm legitimately pissed off here, dude. That's how you know this is not a fucking bit. This is not a fucking riff. This is just genuine disappointment for a team that just does not seem to care about their fans whatsoever anymore. I mean, the name is a joke. Nobody likes the name. You know that. You exposed yourself to certain things. I think you knew that. You had players on the record say they didn't like it. You have an owner that is getting away with literally the devil's work, and it continues to get away with covering it up. And then you're going to bring this man to the place where careers go to die. And it fucking sucks, because don't think for a second I don't recognize the talent of fucking Scary Terry. Don't think I don't recognize the talent of Antonio Gibson. Don't think I realize what Logan Thompson, Virginia local, has accomplished. It's fucking, I mean, and even, that defense as well. They struggled this year, and I get all that, but that is still a defense that has high potential, that you can't come out disrespecting whatsoever. This team had so much at a certain extent to look forward to, but it's now like it was the calm before the storm, because we had 2 decades of, we have tornado season here in Washington, right, dude? Where it's okay, we know how to deal with the tornadoes now at this point, but it's fucking, now the tsunami is blazing in, the devil has risen, and it was that calm before the storm where we're making these good draft picks. It seems like we're getting moves. Alex Smith is comeback player of the year. Looks all pretty on paper. Taylor Heineke almost gets us and beats the Buccaneers in the COVID year. And it's, all that in fucking mind, and then it just fucking unravels. The full thing unravels. We're no longer getting a tornado. It is the apocalypse. The storms have fucking rained upon. You're either a Ravens fan now, you gave up fucking football, and you know what? I'm saying all this, and we all know it's cap, because I will still be a fucking fan of whatever this is. I'm not calling it a team. I'm not calling it a franchise. I'm not calling it a fucking, I won't even call it a fucking legitimate business. This is a scam. We are being scammed, and I'm going to continue to sign up for it every single fucking year, because at this point in my life, what else do I fucking have? And I am having a mental breakdown. I know there are other fans that are having a mental breakdown. I don't know what to do anymore. I can't win.
Is this a free therapy session? Jesus Christ.
It just turned into free fucking therapy.
All right, time out. Here, okay. Ready?
What's your take on how I'm feeling? Go for it. I'm about to cry. I'm legitimately tearing up.
There's 3 things I can tell you. One is
what I'm saying, real quick, and I'll let you go, is insanity. I am literally the cliche is and cliche insanity goes. I am literally making the same mistake again and again. And I have for 28 years, almost 29. And I'm doing it again. I am an insane person. Go ahead.
So do you want the one bad news or the two good news first?
Dose it in. Say good, bad, good.
Okay, good, bad, good.
Sure. Yep.
Good. Wentz is better than Mason Rudolph, so you're in better spirits than I am. Okay? Okay. Number two, bad news. Jimmy G did come out and said he will waive his no-trade clause for these three teams. Steelers, Colts, and I think the other one was the Saints. There was one team he specifically said he did not want to waive his trade clause for.
Of course. Of course.
The Commanders.
I mean, bro, again, there's no legitimate superstar that wants to be there right now.
That's not even
I just hope we do something to keep Terry around. I hope Carson
I'm trying to be an ally. I'm trying to be an ally to the team. I'm not trying to disrupt any, because I actually don't. I want to see you happy. I want to see Hunter. I want to see all these Redskins fans. I'm saying Redskins fans happy. I want to see Sam's dad to be happy. You guys
let me ask you this before you go on the third piece of news. Let me ask you this, okay?
Yeah.
Do you legitimately think, one, what percentage-wise, 10% or above 10%, did Russell make the decision he made because he didn't want to go to Washington? It was at least 8, in my opinion.
What, that he made the decision?
He just, like he considered Washington for a brief second and was like, what the fuck am I thinking? No way.
Oh, no, well, he probably did.
Because Washington's not a destination.
But I think the Seahawks also said, you could think about it, but I think it's because of the NFC. I still think that's the reason. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I don't know. I'm just saying I will always go with that take over that take. But this Jimmy G thing really kind of makes it a little bit on your side a little bit more. But so the third good news is, remember what I said. He sucks. You didn't lose anything. Plus, you get a better draft class. This is a shitty draft class, Joey. I do not want Malik Willis. I do not want Malik Willis as the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You do not want him as a commander. I really do not think so. I think this is fine. Literally, he's better than, I can name probably better than Mason for sure. He's probably better than, I don't know, at this moment, Trevor Lawrence. Probably better than Tua.
I will recognize, and here I go. It's happening to other Washington fans that were super pissed off at first. And here I go. I knew it was going to happen. I resisted, but the Colts had that run. The Colts had a very good run. That crashed and burned.
Yes.
But Carson was a huge part of that.
He was.
That is all I will say.
So here's the deal.
And come fucking September, come August, I will be ready to go.
I know nothing is guaranteed in this world, but you have a year. Let it see what happens. Then you figure it out later. That's it. That's all it is, baby. After that, figure it out. Because, listen, this Jimmy, if Jimmy G comes to the Steelers, whatever. He's better than Mason. That's how I would look at it.
Could you teach me fucking rugby? Or maybe I could get into European football there a little bit.
Why don't you just the Miami
Check
Heat?
out some women's leagues.
Like the Miami Heat with me. They're doing good.
I don't even want to talk about my team in that league either.
That's what I'm saying. Be a Miami Heat fan. We're doing good. It's a fun team.
Finally, I've been with the Dolphins. That's been my ride team a little bit in the past. Maybe I just go full Miami. I move out to Miami. I start just doing a shit ton of cocaine. I mentally break down out there. But at least my teams are winning. So what you're saying is I should become a Miami fan and have a cocaine mental breakdown.
At least you get hot bitches.
Yeah, that is very true. Hey, hot, independent, strong women is what I think you need. Right? We have some female listeners, and
in my opinion, I think it's here's the deal, right? This is why I said I wouldn't mind Jimmy G, because if I had Jimmy G, at least there's 10s sitting in the front row, and I have eye candy, right?
You're going to have porn stars out there. Yeah, you're going to have some of our favorites from the ABA.
Exactly. getting some strippers from Rick's Cabaret into the stadium. Watch some strippers. Watch Jimmy G. I watch the strippers, and then I will be upset. But there's boobs. That's it. That's all a man wants is football, boobs, and beer and wings, which all of them can be provided at beautiful Heinz Field.
To get my mind off, how are you doing with the shortage, by the way? Are you doing okay with the current wing shortage? Are you going through withdrawals?
We're fully back on fasting.
You do look a little skinnier.
We're fully back on fasting for Lent. So
that's right.
Vegan until April 23rd. So the wing shortage can figure itself out for 40 days. And then if I'm back, it's probably going to go back down because Daddy's going to be back. And that is our show. Face of the franchise.
We got sponsors, don't we?
But that was our show. Thank you guys for rocking with us. This is Face of the Franchise. I am the Pharaoh. That is Lil Joe. And we'd like to give a shout out to sponsors. Stuck Up Clothing.
Are you responsible for the wing shortage? Will you say that on? If your other show already did this bit, then stop me right now. But were you responsible for the wing shortage?
I'd say I'm 25% the reason.
Okay.
There was a moment in time where I was completely disgusted with myself and how much wings I ordered. I think it was 7 days. I had 250 wings.
I mean, I want to say that one more time so everyone just can really process that.
7 days.
That slowly and clearly as you possibly can.
I have a calculator here. So
I calculated.
I had set 250 wings. So that's 35.7 wings a day.
I mean, let's not talk even about what that amount of wings will do to you physically in terms of outside of your body and gaining weight and all that, but what about internally?
I'm a happy guy when I eat wings.
What does your doctor say? Is your doctor concerned?
No, my doctor, last time I checked with him, he said...
How much heartburn do you have, David?
Dr. Fox, shout out Dr. Fox in Broadlands, Virginia. He was like... He was like, "Oh, like you're fine. You have high cholesterol." I was like, "If that's it, I'm out." So I mean, at the same time, like, if there's nothing else, then we're straight.
There's no way you don't have fucking indigestion. Like nobody's business. How many bottles of Tums do you go through when you're not?
My heart skips beats. Like there's times where I think I'm catching my breath, but like that could be from the 400 plus milligrams of caffeine that I have a day. That could be from bacon, eggs that I used to have every day before fasting, the wing, drinking, gambling, the Steelers, the Heat, the Cats, the fucking Orioles.
So, all those mentions, also, all those team mentions, also, and addictions and gambling will also hurt you internally as well. So I feel you on that.
At the age of 35. Like, everybody, Michael, that's funny. No, like, get ready, funeral, 35 years old.
Hey, you know what? The track I'm going, we're going to die together. It's all Heritage Brothers. We're going to go out strong before we're 40. That's how the show will finally take off and then just play all these old episodes.
We're going to be like Pop Smoke. Like, people didn't know how good we were until we're dead. So,
yeah, that's and I think that's the perfect way to end the show.
All right. So,
wait. Also, how many bottles of Tums do you go through a week when you're not fasting?
Honestly, no Tums. You say indigestion and all that stuff. I just poop a lot. That's really all I do. Different.
Really? Because I have fucking heartburn. We're getting old as hell now, and nobody probably cares about this, but I get fucking hurt. I go through a bottle of Tums in fucking 3 weeks, dude. I'm
the gassy part of everything. Like, gassy, poop, like, that's me. No indigestion, nothing like that. So, knock on wood, let's keep it that way. So,
my heart literally feels like the Grinch's when it grew 3 times its size, and that wasn't healthy for the Grinch, and that's how I feel right now.
Pretty sure I've survived 6 heart attacks. Like, there's no way I have not.
You didn't even process your habit. I'll take another 10 set. I'll take another 10 piece.
Well, we thank Four Quarters Studio for hosting us. Please subscribe, download on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. Follow us. Please help us out with the ad money. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow our sponsors, Stuck Up Clothing, finest fashion money can buy. You go in there, they have the new selection, new website. Go to IG, look at the website that is attached to their profile. We will tag them as well in all our posts, as well as Eyesight Mobile Eyewear Company, the eyesight company that comes to you. They'll help with sunglasses, contacts, glasses, anything that you need. Follow them on IG as well. Follow their website. We will tag them as well. Tag Suggestions by Jax, the girl that gets your hair done, nail done, all of it. Get your shit done.
All your
coming up. So follow her on Instagram. She is booking up fast, as well as this episode is brought to you by Smooth My Balls. Get the razor down there.
You're right.
Promo code when you're checking out. Get money off the number 4CR, the number 12.
No one wants to be around you if that's not taken care of anymore. Boys, get that right, please.
This ain't 1950s anymore. They don't want to see Bush. Not even.
And notice I said boys. If you're not shaving, if you're not taking down there with Smooth My Balls, you are boys.
Bingo. And that is our show. I am the Pharaoh. That is Little Joe Ooh. Stay breezy. Stay easy. One love.
Dan Snyder, go drink fucking battery acid.
I don't want to see Mason Rudolph.